Hello and welcome back to Healed Enough. I'm so glad you're here. It is Holy Week, and today I want to talk about making God your priority. Y'all, I can't sit here and act like I'm not in so much pain. I have the meanest migraine, but sometimes you gotta push through. So, like I said, welcome back. I'm happy you're here. It is Holy Week. And for those who may not be familiar with Holy Week, it is between Palm Sunday and Resurrection Sunday. It's a time for intentional reflection as a believer. We're just commemorating Jesus's triumphant entry into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, things that took place that week, like Jesus riding into Jerusalem on a donkey on Palm Sunday, people shouting praises and laying palm branches down and actually laying their garments on the ground as Jesus rolled through. This week, Jesus also drove out the people that were in the temple exchanging goods and services. You know, this is when he flipped those tables. He also raised Lazarus from the dead. We're thinking about that. We're thinking about the woman with the alabaster box who ministered to him with expensive oils. We're thinking about his teaching during this time. I know the Pharisees were still trying to trip him up. We're also, taking some time to reflect on Judas's betrayal of Jesus. Maybe we look at how we betray Jesus every day, living like he didn't sacrifice it all for us. Also, the Last Supper happened this week. Jesus taken into custody in the Garden of Gethsemane. He was put on trial, and he also had the opportunity to be released, but, the crowd was just screaming, we'd rather have Barabbas. Give us Barabbas. And who I think was like a murderer. He was a bad man. But the same crowd that was cheering him on Palm Sunday was the same crowd that by the end of the week, they like, nah, we'd rather have a murderer than this guy that we were just cheering on. Yeah, Jesus was beat, tortured, mocked, ridiculed, made to carry a 300-pound cross up a huge hill. Then they nailed him to that same cross. He carried out prophecy. He gave up his life on the cross, and they buried him. And on that Sunday, mm, 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 he got up victorious. So we celebrate Resurrection Sunday. So very busy week indeed. Lots to study, lots to be reverent and grateful for. I'm looking forward to it. And if we just take a second to think about the world we live in today, I couldn't think of a better time to reflect and talk about making God a priority, not just because it's Holy Week and not just during Holy Week, or even because we've been talking about living a God centered life in church. But this is definitely a good time to get your priorities in order, which is really a funny phrase, like get your priorities in order, because priority means something that is more important than other things and that needs to be done or dealt with first. So, how can we have more than one priority? I believe it was our brother, Ricky Bobby, who said, you can't have two number ones. And he was right. You can't have two number ones. Something has to come second. And it definitely ain't going to be God. Not in my life, period. And I say that with all my heart and with confidence and with my words. But what does my action say? What does your action say? You know? Is God secondary to your own voice, your own comfort, your family, your job, your relationship, your desires? Who's really driving this thing? Because we usually want to tell Jesus to take the wheel when stuff is getting out of hand. But when you think you got it, you don't think twice about putting him in the back seat. And nobody makes an announcement saying, I'm putting God in the back seat. But us putting God in the back seat shows up in subtle ways. For example, I've been feeling like I need to just wake up earlier and spend more time with the Lord consistently before my day starts. Just talk to him. I feel like he wants to talk to me. We have things to talk about. But the way that I stay up into late hours of the night makes it very difficult for me to want to get up early, to get out of bed, to go downstairs, to make a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and just talk to God as I read His Word, as I pray. And I felt super convicted the other day because it was like I heard God saying, if one of your friends called you at 6 o'clock in the morning and said, I'm downstairs, I need to talk to you. Downstairs, like being outside, like not how did you get in my house, but like they was downstairs, they was outside and they needed to talk to me. That I would get out of my bed with so much concern and care because I love them and I want to know what's going on with them. That they need to talk to me at 6 o'clock in the morning. And it wouldn't matter what time I went to sleep. It wouldn't matter. I would just get up and go see about them because I love them and they mean a lot to me. And oftentimes, stuff like that will reveal that we think we're putting God first, but we put ourselves first. We put our own comfort before God. We put people before God. And we put our jobs before God. That's out of order because a lot of y'all have favor on your jobs where you could get Sundays off, but you don't because you low key just put work before God. And that's wild because you would literally take off for a trip. You would take off work for a trip and then you would ask God for traveling mercies while you're on the trip. I'm be like praying for safe travels, traveling mercies while I'm on the road or while I'm in the air. And I know I'm not the only one that has like gone into job offers and like telling them, hey, I'm sorry. Listen, I had booked this trip. It's a couple of months away. I know y'all got this 90-day thing where you can't take off in the first 90 days, but I already have a trip paid for. So I want to let you know up front that I'm going to need such and such time off. Very bold, very bold to walk in a job offer like that. But we can't be bold enough to walk in them same job offers and say, hey, Sundays I like to be in church. Please don't schedule me on Sundays. Don't schedule me on Sundays because I like to be in the house of the Lord on Sundays. It's important to me. And I don't know who need to hear this, but I feel like I need to say this too. Every church is not toxic. Just like every work environment is not toxic. People that genuinely love the Lord are still around. No one is perfect because people are there. And people go people everywhere you go. But at least you're with people who know they need God. But back to the topic at hand, priority. Making God a priority. Putting him first above everything and everyone else. The song of the week is Priority by yours truly, Just Danielle. And in this song, I talk about you know, my only real fear is being unsuccessful, not in this life, but when I enter God's presence, because I want Him to be pleased with me. The lyrics say, tell me what you need from me. You're my priority. And He has already told us what He desires from us. Jesus summed it up in Mark 12:29 through 31. Jesus replied, the most important commandment is this. Listen, O Israel, the Lord our God is the one and only Lord. You must love the Lord your God with all of your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. The second is equally important. See, he said the second, meaning there was the first. The first one was love. Love the Lord your God. He is the only God. Love him for all your heart, mind, and soul, and all your strength. And the second is equally important. So it doesn't come first, but it's just as important. Love your neighbor as yourself. No other commandment is greater than these. So love God, love yourself, and love your neighbor as yourself. And if we could be honest, we be having that list out of order sometimes. We love people more than we love ourselves. Wrong order. Sometimes we love ourselves more than we love God. Wrong order. Sometimes it be people, ourselves, then God. Wrong order. Just wrong. Love God, yourself, and then love your neighbor as yourself. And this could be a whole nother topic for another day, but I want to leave y'all with this verse because we've been studying this for this month in church. And It's Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. There it is. Just worry about God, putting him first, making him priority, making his way, his will priority. Everything else will be added to you. Until next time, this is Healed Enough. Make God your priority, not only this holy week, but for the rest of your holy life. See y'all Wednesday.